All right, welcome to the homework help session with Justin. And Justin is about to give me the problems that he would like to work on this morning.
All right. I'm going to write it down.
Okay.
Screenshot it.
Okay, excellent. F of X. Not the easiest thing writing without one of the tablets.
Right.
Okay, f of x equals 3/4 to the x power.
And you have to graph the function
Okay.
by making a table of coordinates.
Okay, that's enough. You can. Oh, is there more to it?
Oh, no.
Okay, I just saw some more little writing on there. All right, let me get my pen, and we'll get going on this. This shouldn't be too labor-intensive for us. So I'm just going to first draw us a little homegrown graph here. So, of course, you know, there's issue with human error all over this, just with the hand-drawn graph, but we can at least get an idea. Now, do they make any suggestions as to what your x values need to be, or is it just kind of an open XY table? You choose the inputs and get the outputs back. Goodness, I can't talk this morning.
The x values are -2, -1, 0, 1, and 2.
-2, -1, 0, 1, and 2, our favorite input values to work with there. So we have an x, f of x table. Pardon me. So I will show you one of these by hand so you can see what happens with that negative exponent and how I'm going to get these other values. If you need to see more, let me know. -2, -1, 0, 1, and 2. So when I plug in -2, let me change colors here. When I plug in -2, I have f of -2, and that's going to be 3/4 raised to the -2nd power. One of our rules of exponents says when I'm raising a quotient to a power, the numerator and the denominator get that power. So this is 3 to the -2nd power over 4 to the -2nd power. Another thing with exponent rules is that a negative exponent's never happy. Where it is, it wants to be in the other place, and it becomes positive. So I'm going to bring that 3 to the -2nd down, and I'm going to bring the 4 to the -2nd up. So my next line looks like this: 4 squared, now positive, over 3 squared. So that is 16 over 9, which is roughly 1 7/9. Now, the only reason I changed to mixed numbers is because I'm graphing. It is easier to think about graphing points when you have a mixed number, and that's one of the only times it's more beneficial to change an improper fraction to a mixed number. Did you follow everything I did there, Justin?
I got it.
Okay, excellent. So -2, 1, and 7/9. If I do f of -1, I have 3 to the -1 over 4 to the -1st power, which when I switch places just gives me 4/3 or 1 1/3. Anything to the 0 power is 1. 3/4 raised to the 1st power is 3/4. And 3/4 squared, square the top, square the bottom, and I get 9/16. All right, so when I go to plot these points, I have -2 and then 1 and some change, almost 2. So I'm a little, I'll just dot that line, I'm a little bit under the 2 mark there. Is that cool?
Yeah, it works.
All right. -1, 1 1/3, so a little over the 1 mark there. Like I said, human error all over this because we're on draft. 0, 1, about right there. 1 3/4, getting a little closer down towards the x-axis. 2 9/16, even closer to the x-axis. We know the trend of exponential functions. We know that it's never going to cross the x-axis because there's no exponent that we can ever raise to that's going to start giving us an output of negative numbers. Negative exponents don't create negative values. They just switch the numerator and the denominator, wherever that negative exponent's living at the time. So this is the trend we're going to get. It's going to approach the x-axis, and then it's going to start shooting up rapidly.
Makes sense.
All right, great. Any other questions about that one?
No, that was the only question I had.
Okay, did you have any other homework questions? Because we blew through that one like lightning, and I've still got about 10 minutes before I need to leave to go to class.
Let's see. No, the other question I had, you answered it in the last homework help.
Excellent. I'm glad to hear you're watching the homework help videos. Yay, someone's watching the videos. No, I'm kidding. I think a lot of y'all are watching the videos. Justin, before I let you go, actually I'll turn the recording off and chit-chat with you for a minute. Let me just go ahead and say goodbye to everyone that's going to watch this video. I'll post it. It may show up in my inbox in time enough for me to get it posted before I go to class. If not, I'll get it posted around noon when I get back from teaching. Justin, if you'll hang on a minute, I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording. Y'all have a great day.